I've heard a few times this morning, break a leg, and in my case it would be break the microphone, so let him take care of that. I'm sure all of you have heard that saying, bad things happen in threes. Well, I'm here today to tell you a little bit about that. Once upon a time, I was a chef and baker turned corporate businesswoman, complete with a briefcase and a job in New York City. And all the while, I was always dreaming of getting back to my roots and owning a small bakery somewhere out in the country, maybe with a little house and a little garden and a couple chickens. Well, lo and behold, I met and married an organic farmer from Montana, and we bought an old house with a little piece of land and a barn, and poof, Quaker instant bakery and farm by the side of the road. Just add water. And it was great. It was really amazing, and it definitely was probably a lot like an episode of Green Acres. We grew vegetables. I remember the first year we grew 140 tomato plants. It was absolutely terrifying. And we had chickens and we had pigs. And I remember chasing escaped piglets down the middle of the street. And I remember the rooster chasing me across the backyard. And it probably didn't help that every time I went out to the hen house, I had a chef coat on. And whatever you do, don't ever accidentally bump into a beehive. I swear to God, it is just like the cartoons where they make that giant arrow and they chase you across the yard. But besides all that, it was my dream come true. I had my great little bakery, we had a beautiful old house, and we did farm-to-table dinners using everything that we grew and raised. And we had a little farm stand, complete with one of those scales that you put stuff in and the little dial goes around like that. And again, it was my dream come true. And then, in the blink of an eye, my marriage ended and the bakery and farm vanished into thin air. And then my business, which had grown from a card table on the side of the road to a bakery to a new, bigger location, was booming, and things were going great. And somehow I just got a little bit ahead of me, and I wasn't paying attention to my gut and my instinct and that KISS rule, keep it simple. And I made a big wrong decision, and I lost my business and everything I had worked for. And then I was trying to pull it all together again, and I just found a new location, and I signed a lease, and 5 days later I was out shopping with a friend, and I got a phone call with the words that I never thought I would hear. It was my doctor telling me that I had cancer. And while I was being wheeled out of Costco in a shopping cart, crying my eyes out, all I could think of was one thing. I reference cartoons a lot here, but you remember when you used to watch cartoons and somebody would fall in the snow and they would start rolling down the hill and they would just get bigger and turn into this big giant snowball and their arms and legs were flailing all over the place and they would hit the bottom and bam, snow would go flying and they'd be laying there. And that was definitely me, and I had hit my bottom. And it was a huge wake-up call for me. And the irony of all this is, when I got my diagnosis, they found a tumor in my eye. And when they took the tumor out from behind my eye, I really started thinking, you know, this might be a way for me to start seeing things a little bit differently and trying to go back to where I was and keep things really simple and just do what I loved, again, baking and cooking. And so I went forth. And I took my treatments and I started up my business again. And I found, once again, a small, cute little bakery and cafe by the side of the road. And I went back to doing what I loved. I don't have a farm today, but I still have a lot of really cool farmer friends who have great farms all over the area. And I'm lucky because I get to use all their really great food. And I am in remission, and I am doing what I love. So I guess I can say my story ends reasonably happily ever after. And the moral of my story really is, sometimes you almost have to lose an eye to make sure you see the way things are really supposed to be. And always remember to follow your heart and follow your dreams, because they definitely will get you where you need to be. Thank you very much.